Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you are here this evening to this Boost Your Brain with Natural Solutions. I'm Arlene Tilton. I'm really excited to share some of this information with you, and hopefully, you can share it with others. So, I just wanted to share quickly last month, my sisters and I took a road trip to Southern Colorado. And one of the places that we had intended on visiting was the birthplace of my grandmother. So on the way, we were reading stories about our grandmother, and we read a story about that came from her brother. We called Uncle Muggs. He was really close to us. We really loved Uncle Muggs. Anyway, he was sharing about the Depression, and he talked about how hard it was and how people just shut down. Many went crazy, many committed suicide. And I thought, wow, that's so similar to what's going on now. There are things happening in this world, and people are really affected mentally and emotionally. And it's really sad when we get to this state of in our society when people are really shutting down, going crazy and committing suicide. So think about it. Life is full of a lot of unexpected events. So you have to think about what you can do to support a healthy mental and emotional state of mind. And more than that, you need to think about, does the lifestyle, your daily lifestyle, typically support or sabotage your brain? Because I think as we go through these exercises, we can maybe see that many of us are just sabotaging our brain on a daily basis. And maybe we can start there by omitting kind of some of that stuff. So, chemicals are a huge problem in our world. They basically kill our brain cells, and they really affect our focus, our mood, our emotions, all of our brain activity. And if you look at this kind of plethora of chemicals that people are using on a daily basis, this is only a very, very small percent of what people are typically using. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just small. It can't possibly hurt. But, it's compounded by all the products that people do use. That really is the problem. And I have learned that we just need to get rid of all of them. Thanks to doTERRA, we have a lot of cleaner products to use, and we can get rid of these. And I'm telling my people, the body care is a huge one. And doTERRA has developed this for us. We have so many dangerous things out there. So let's go to those that are clean and are not so dangerous, because they really do affect our focus, mood, emotions, and all of our brain activity. The World Health Organization, came out with many quotes and many pieces of information that really talk about how they affect our hormones, they affect our metabolism, growth and development, and our mood. And they go back to the pesticides, electronics, the personal care products, the cosmetics, and the additives and contaminants in our food. These are things that we need to be aware of, because they do affect us. And we are consuming a lot of this on the daily basis. Now, a lot of this we don't have control of. If we go outside and we are, driving down the street, but there are a lot of things that we can have control of, and that's what we need to really recognize. Headlines are telling us, beware of how many chemicals you're coming into contact on a daily basis. You can see this has gone from 23, and then another headline in 2015, 168, and then in 2016, 515. That's a ton of chemicals that many people are really coming in contact, especially women, on a daily basis without knowing it. So we need to, again, be aware of this. Because if it's on the shelf, it doesn't mean it's safe. It may not be. Then we have our diets. They are full of chemical additives. Anything in a box, a can, or a package most likely has chemicals. The sad thing is that they remove all of the good stuff and replace it with the chemicals. And that's, again, more in our control. It's our choices. And basically, you can choose chemical-free food. And that is our number one thing that we can do every day to support your brain. Choose whole, healthy foods, preferably organic, without the pesticides, without all the chemicals that go with them. Choose things that are whole, and they look a lot different than the picture before, right? There's a huge difference. Just learn to eat these foods for the majority of our meals. Number two is supporting your body with good daily nutrition. And I'm grateful that we have our Lifelong Vitality, because these are whole food supplements and they will support our brain on a daily basis. Don't go a day without these. They are really key. And then we have our essential oils that can really support our brain on a daily basis. And again, these are proactive measures. All three of these are what we eat, our supplements, and our essential oils. These are all things that we can do proactively on a daily basis to support a healthy brain. Now, I wanted to share a story really quick of my friend Jen, whose daughter went hiking in the heat of the summertime in Arizona. Actually, she went biking with a friend and they ran out of water. She fainted and the friend went to get help. By the time her parents got there, basically she was frying in the sun for about 45 minutes. And by the time they got her to the emergency room, the doctors said she is non-responsive. They put her on life support. They said that even if she ever did come to, they didn't ever expect her to have full brain function. And they didn't actually give her much hope at all. So my friend called a neighbor and said, please bring me my 4 brain oils. Now, I don't know what 4 oils you might think of, but these are the ones she chose. First is frankincense, rosemary, peppermint, and bergamot. Who would have thought those were the 4 brain oils that you should go to first? Anybody think of those 4 specifically? Well, what she did was she started applying them along her spine one at a time. And she said just the first time that she started applying them on her spine, she shuddered. And that was the first sign of anything that she had done on her own, shuddering. And so she knew that they were helping. And so she continued to apply these 4 oils up and down her spine every 15 minutes all throughout the night. And she said that I think the second time that she did it, she said, stop. And again, that was her first audible response to her applying these oils. She knew that it was getting through to her. First the shudder, then the response when she said stop. She knew that it was doing some good. And so again, she continued to apply those 4 oils one by one, layering them on her spine every 15 minutes all night long. Well, by the next day, she could count to 10. She was starting to remember things, and actually the doctors let her go home. She continued to do the aroma touch and apply these 4 oils, and actually within 5 weeks regained her full brain capacity. Today, 6 or 7 years later, she is just, a beautiful girl with, you'd never know that she actually had those brain challenges. So that's amazing to me. And I've always really appreciated learning about this story because to me, it's pretty powerful. So let's look at these 4 oils and see why they are so powerful. So we know frankincense, the king of oils, most widely used in biblical times. And remember, this is aromatherapy. They inhaled, they smelled these oils because it goes straight into the brain and can improve memory, mood, all types of cognitive function. It can pass the blood-brain barrier. And we know that the sesquiterpenes actually deliver oxygen directly to the brain cells. And since healing in the brain requires oxygen, this essential oil actually accelerates the healing process. So definitely a number one oil that you can use for the brain. She did it on the spine, but I'm sure inhaling it as well would be a really, really good practice for any type of brain trauma. So next is peppermint. It boosts circulation. It's a catalyst. It helps increase flow. That's why it's good for calming head tension. It can actually cool an elevated temperature, but it's also really good for stimulating the mind, supporting memory, focus, concentration, mental illness, or mental performance, and great for alertness. Now, I will say the peppermint and frankincense are my two go-to oils when I'm traveling and need to be alert and awake. One drop of each in the palms of my hands, and then I inhale them, and I am just alert and awake really quickly. The next oil is rosemary, and that is great for boosting memory. It helps increase brainwave activity, increases alertness. It's so beneficial for cognitive fatigue and brain injury. It improves memory, focus, and concentration. Another great oil. And then bergamot or bergamot, whichever you like to say. It is not necessarily always thought of being an oil for the brain. It is of the citrus family, and much like the citruses in many ways, but very different in a lot of ways too. It's really capable of interrupting a cycle of stress. It helps restore mental function, improves the capacity to focus, and definitely helps in balancing mood and improving emotional responses. So those four oils are excellent for good brain health, especially for emotional trauma and mental fatigue. So, out with the bad, especially when it comes to inhaling. Get rid of all of those things that you may have in your home that can negatively affect your brain, and bring in the good. Let's start using our essential oils aromatically, whether we just open the bottle and inhale, or place drops in the palm of your hands and inhale them, or put them in a diffuser. I love to diffuse at night. So great for helping with a good night's rest. And I was just sharing my favorite diffuser blend at night now is that was shared by Roger. The Breathe blend and the cedarwood together. Wow, so calming. And my husband's not snoring. Isn't that wonderful? So that's really good for the good results for aromatic use of essential oils. Now, lavender is also really good. It's good for aromatic use. We know that it's very good for calming. It's soothing. It relaxes tension. I've had moms take their lavender on road trips, and they'll put a drop on a cotton ball and put it in the air conditioning unit, and that acts as a diffuser. And they said, wow, when their kids get, when there's tension in the car, she will do that. And she says, wow, within seconds, it just really calms everyone in the car, which is great, right? It also reduces cortisol and stress levels and is great for a good night's sleep. So topically is the next way that we can use our essential oils, and we can apply them on our skin, joints, on the bottoms of our feet, and on the back of our neck, along the spine. And that's what we love so much about our Aroma Touch technique and the Symphony of the Cells techniques. These are really great topical applications that are highly beneficial for seeing the results that we want in different areas of need. So copaiba or copaiba, however you pronounce it, is another great brain oil. It is neuroprotective. It supports a healthy nervous system overall, but it's also a very powerful tool for brain trauma and recovery. So that's why I like taking the copaiba. Actually, it's great applied topically. You can apply that on the back of your neck. Add it to water. You can take it internally as well. And then internally is the third way that we can use our essential oils. Put drops in a drop of water, put them in a veggie cap, or we can take the soft gels with our essential oils. And that's a great way to take them internally. There's all other ways, which I will share just in a minute. But our essential oils are great examples of oils that are not only good for supporting brain, but they're also really good in a lot of other ways, uplifting, energizing. They stimulate our metabolism. They're very good for stress reducing. Wild orange and lemon are so good for that because they help lower your cortisol levels. They're detoxing, alkalizing, purifying, and good for mood and emotional balancing. So, the one way I love to add my essential oils for good brain boosting as well as great flavor is in foods. And I'll just give you some examples of some foods that I like to add them to. First is a smoothie. It's great to add, your citrus oils in smoothies. But I also have this brain boosting nut snack, which is so yummy. I actually add frankincense, rosemary, bergamot, and copaiba in that. And oh my gosh, I had no idea these would taste so yummy. They are actually really good. You don't cook them at all. It's just dropping the oils in a little bit of olive oil with a little bit of salt, putting the nuts in there, stirring them around, and then adding a little bit of almond flour and just toss them around and they're ready to go and, ready to eat right there when you are. So they're really yummy. So these are copaiba bites. And maybe some of you have tried this recipe or seen it out there. I do mine a little bit different, but I like a little bit different things added. But these are really yummy. Put them in the refrigerator. You can access them for a long time. Salad dressings. I've added a lot of different things to my salads and salad dressings. I've even added frankincense and rosemary, copaiba, any of these citrus oils, probably any of these oils except peppermint can be used in a salad dressing. Even black pepper, coriander, those are other good oils too, but they are very good in salad dressings. And then I have a recipe that's basically the baked chicken strips that has rosemary, bergamot. You can put lemon, lime, whatever you like, even copaiba, and even a yogurt parfaits. These are great for breakfast. Just the yogurt, stir in the wild orange or any other type of citrus oils. And then you add your fruit, your nuts, or granola, whatever you like. And last but not least is my peppermint frosted brownies. And these are super, super yummy. And they're actually dairy free, completely grain free, sugar free. They're just amazing. And people just love them. So the key is make sure that you see the supplement fact label on your bottle, and then you know that it's safe for internal use. And all of these are safe not only for internal use, but topical and aromatic use as well. So I thought I would share my daily routine for daily support. And these are basically things that I do on a daily basis. Number one, when I get up in the morning, I put frankincense under my tongue, a couple of drops, and then I put another drop on the back of my neck and rosemary as well. These are just things that I've been doing for a couple of years, and I think that they're great for good brain support. Next is I make sure that I get my supplements. These are super, super important. And again, very important for good brain health. DDR Prime is another one that I take morning and evening along with my other supplements because it's very good for regeneration all the way to the cellular level. And we need a little bit of help with, restoring our good cellular DNA. Along with that, I take Copaiba soft gels every day as well. These are very important. And again, part that I take every morning and night because it's good for supporting good brain activity. And then, of course, in my water, usually every day I add both bergamot and lemon throughout the day. So I'm getting maybe, 8 to 12 drops of each oil, or a little bit of more, more or less than each other. And then I make sure that I add my essential oils to my foods throughout the day. And I feel that that is giving my brain a little bit of boost and extra support there. So basically, I do have some gifts for you, and I will actually copy these and paste these in the chat when we are done. And while I'm doing that, actually, do you have any questions that I can answer for you?
With your salad dressings, I saw the picture that was there. I couldn't quite tell whether or not you were making your salad dressings and storing the salad dressing in a plastic or a glass bottle. You did mention.
I definitely always do my salad dressings in glass, and I do everything in glass.
Okay. Yeah,
My
I couldn't
water
tell if it
bottle.
was glass or plastic in the picture. So
Yeah, definitely glass. But that's a great question. I think it's important.
Hi, Arlene. This is Priscilla. Based on what you were talking about, I wondered if Copaiba might be a fifth brain oil to add.
Definitely. This friend of mine did this 6 or 7 years ago. And so we didn't have Copaiba back then, but I think she definitely would have used it for her daughter. But absolutely, this is one of my brain oils that I use every day. So absolutely, I try to use every one of those on a daily basis.
We put it in smoothies. We put Copaiba in our smoothies in the morning.
And the wonderful thing about Copaiba is it's not a very robust, it doesn't have a loud, pungent flavor. It is very, very soft.
It doesn't create problems on the flavor profile.
It doesn't ruin the flavor of anything. So
now I have one story to share about a lot of people put frankincense under the tongue in the morning. Don't set your frankincense and your geranium close to each other because the label's close enough to the same color. And if you think frankincense is gnarly, wait till you get a drop of geranium in your mouth. Yikes.
And the other day I was making my brain boosting nuts. I got all done and I tasted them and I'm going, ooh, it doesn't taste right. I had used fennel, not frankincense. And I'm going, oh no. I don't mind the taste of fennel, but make sure you grab the right one. I just went ahead and added the frankincense and it was just totally fine. But the fennel didn't matter. But yes, you want to make sure that you grab the right one.
Licorice almonds, how yummy.
Yes, they're awesome. I like that. All right. Any other questions you have on brain boosting?
Hey, Arlene, what about people that have high blood pressure that's kind of cautionary to stay away from rosemary? What would be a good substitute?
I
use patchouli instead of rosemary.
Well, I don't think you'd want that in the nuts or in the chicken.
True.
Patchouli, I don't think would be a great thing. Um, it's totally, you'd have to figure that out. I don't know. I just know that rosemary works for me. So, and I don't know what it does, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I need more rosemary because I was just told I have low blood pressure. So I need things to raise my blood pressure. So, but that definitely is something that you will have to look into and see.
You might want to cut back on the lavender, Earlene.
Well, you know what? I do use Serenity, but I don't use lavender a whole lot.
Okay.
Does lavender lower your blood pressure?
Well, anything that calms you down, impacts that part of the
Okay,
of the system, I would think.
great to know that. I use Serenity, but not the lavender as much. But anyway, thanks so much everyone for being on. I'm really glad that you joined us here tonight. Have a great evening and get the oils and do what you need to do to boost your brain. All right.
Thank you,
All right,
Arlene.
thanks, Earlene.
You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
Thank you
night.
very much, Arlene. Great information as always.
You're welcome. Glad to be here. Glad you joined.